All the economy traders opened an account to short sell 1,000 shares of Internet Dreams at $65 per share. The initial margin requirement was 50%, and in this case, normally it does, but this problem says the margin account pays no interest. A year later, the price of Internet Dreams has risen from $65 to $76.50, and the stock has paid a dividend of $9.80 per share. Before we go into calculations, let's understand how the mechanics of shorting works. I, in my infinite wisdom, think that this stock is going to lose value and I want to benefit from that. The way I do it, I find someone to lend me 1,000 shares. Then, as soon as I get the 1,000 shares, I go ahead and sell them in the market, in this case at $65. And when I'm done, I need to buy them back at whatever the market price is, in this case 76.50. And since the person who lent me the stock would have benefited from the dividends had he or she not lent me the stock, I have to compensate that person for those foregone dividends as well. So, in addition to giving them 1,000 shares back, I also need to pay them the dividends that they have not received. So, let's go to the template I built for this purpose. Now, we shorted 1,000 shares at 65. And in this case, the initial margin is 50%. So let's calculate how much margin we need to put in, which means our own money. 50% times number of shares shorted times price when shorted. So I need to put in 32.5. Keep this cell at solver mode. You can double click to change that, but keep it there. And if all you're gonna look for is what you gonna call the equity margin, let's change the start price to 65. Initially, it's 50% margin. The way I calculate this one, I take the value of other assets, in this case, the amount that investor put in, 32.5. But if there is any other money, you can put that in as well. And plus, I'm going to add the value received when shorted, 1,000 shares times 65. Then from that, I'm going to deduct the price at that time plus any dividends paid times number of shares. That's essentially the equity of the account. And I'm going to divide that by shares shorter than stock price. That's how you calculate the equity margin. Now, at the end of the year, price goes up to 76.50, but there is also $9.80 per share dividends paid. So the equity margin goes down to 14.64%. So new margin amount is equity margin percentage times number of shares shorted times the current stock price. So the new margin amount is 11,200. What is the margin on the short position? In this case, it is asking for the margin percentage, 1464. We already done that. If the maintenance margin requirement is 30%, will the old economy receive a margin call? Well, the current equity margin is 1464, which is below the 30% margin call. Hence, it will receive a margin call. In fact, let's go ahead and format this cell so that we will color it differently, or we'll add something here if it is indeed getting a margin call. So let's do this. Uh, Conditional formatting, manage rules, new rule. Let's do a two color scale. Um, let's do formula to determine which cells to format. And the formula is margin is less than the maintenance margin. And for formatting, we're gonna make this red. For colors, I'm gonna add in a custom color here. I just happen to know. Let me see. Okay. This has nothing to do with finance. I'm just doing it. And I'm gonna change also the font color to this yellow. Okay. Apply. Okay. And let's change this one too. All right. Well, let's make this bold as well. So that's how we know that you're going to get a margin call. For example, if the stock price was $61, you wouldn't get a margin call. Or at 66, nope, 67, now 68, you get a margin call. Let's go back to 76.50. Okay, you do get a margin call. What is the rate of return on the investment? Well, that's easy to calculate. Let's get something from here. Let's call this rate of return. We're gonna make this into percent, 1, 2. Well, I have only 11,200 left in the account. So my original margin amount, which is my investment, minus, or the new margin amount minus the original margin amount, divided by the original margin amount. So I lost 65.54% of my investment. Let's make this color.